Think about the last time you took a city bus. As you stood there waiting in line, did you ever wonder if the rules for buying a ticket were exactly the same for every single person standing around you? Every time you step onto a bus, you're interacting with the foundational rules of business law. When that bus pulls up and opens its doors, the transit system is making what we call an offer to the riders. Think of an offer as the starting point of a deal. It's when a person or a company says, "Here is exactly what I'm willing to do for you, as long as we both agree to follow through on the agreement." But once that deal is put out there, how do we know who is actually allowed to say yes to it? This is a diagram from Business Law Notes outlining the different types of offers. Knowing who can play determines which of two major branches the deal falls into, a general offer or a special offer, which is also called a specific offer. Let's start by looking at the standard passengers dropping their coins or tapping their cards to pay the normal fare as they step onto the bus. These riders are participating in our first legal category, the general offer. You might also hear this called a public or common offer. The defining trait here is that the deal is open to absolutely anyone in society. In our bus example, the transit company is telling the public, anyone who wants a ride can pay this standard ticket price. Under this arrangement, every standard passenger is treated exactly the same way. You don't need a special invitation to get a seat, you just need to pay the fare. As we can see in the notes, if anyone in society is allowed to accept the terms, it's a general offer, where all passengers pay the same fare. But what happens when the transit rules change for certain people waiting in that line? That brings us to our second category, the specific offer, often called a special offer. Here, the deal is announced only to a particular person or a specific group of people. For example, some transit systems have a policy where female passengers can travel for free, walking right past the fare box while everyone else pays. You might also see separate specific offers based on age, like senior citizens getting a different rate than younger riders. Unlike the general offer, these groups are picked out specifically for this deal. If you aren't part of that defined group, you aren't invited to the agreement. Looking back at our notes, we see the distinction. Specific offers target a separate, defined group rather than being a blanket invitation to the public. Now we can bring both of these concepts together to find a single, reliable way to identify any offer in the real world. Side by side, the only real difference is the intended audience. When the deal is open to everyone, it's general. When made only to particular people, it's specific. Next time you see a deal, ask, is this for absolutely anyone or just a particular group? Figuring out exactly who is invited to the deal is how you understand the foundation of any business agreement.